We're here to, do a podcast on Nolan's new film, Interstellar. I'm with Villain News, also known as Mr. Creepshow 09, JB, and yeah, so let's get started.
Interstellar. So what we know is it started off as a Spielberg project that he was interested in doing.
Mhm.
And then it was taken over by the Nolans. And that's basically his next project. He isn't officially the director for it, but it seems to be that it most likely he will direct because it's going to be a huge, big budget movie.
Yeah.
It's going to involve space travel.
Weird for a Nolan movie.
Basically, a wormhole is, if you've seen a movie like Stargate, they go through a portal. It's basically a time portal, like into another dimension, another place in time, or another part of the galaxy, space. And the thing is, they have to be collected. All of them, the four-dimensional particles have to be collected to make that portal, which is like billions upon billions and billions of them, and anything around it would get sucked in, kind of like a black hole. So it'd have to be constructed into space. And what interstellar stands for is short for interstellar travel, which is travel between the stars. Then there's interplanetary space flight, which is planet-to-planet space flight. Then the longest one is intergalactic space travel, which is travel between galaxies, which is the farthest and hardest one and not theoretically capable at this time. So basically it's going to be a group of explorers and scientists who go on this voyage into the wormhole that they created into science. This is what I'm anticipating. And yeah, what are your thoughts on that so far?
It's just, I don't know, like for a Nolan movie, it just sounds so out there. Like I'm not saying it's gonna be bad, but I don't know. It's just hopefully it's not as confusing as Inception, or it's not. I'm not like a huge Nolanite. I'm crazy for his Batman movies, but I don't know. Like it sounds interesting. Like it sounds like it could be like a good movie, like cool, I guess.
Yeah, it sounds like it could be set up for an awesome franchise.
Yeah, like it's just a really, like different for Nolan. I know he doesn't.
Yeah, but since Nolan's gonna do it, it almost feels like it's gonna be Inception in space. Inception was like manipulating dreams in people's heads.
You've seen that movie?
Of course, I've seen Inception.
You enjoy it?
It was a decent thriller. It wasn't the greatest movie of all time, but yeah, it was decent. It was good.
It reminded me of like Matrix hybrid, or
so it was a decent ride, and this one's gonna be a huge budget, like even more big. There wasn't like that much CGI to be done. It was just like huge set pieces on like Inception. And then there was with the CGI with the city like being upside down and stuff or whatever and growing on the sides. But this is going to be huge, and like the space travel and the space shuttle, an interstellar spacecraft, those are like huge like shuttles. Like imagine like a Star Destroyer from.
So are they like these people that are going? They go into space, right?
Yeah, and like basically the theory is, a black hole has so much power that it slows down gravity. Light can't even escape it, and the speed of light, time has to adjust, which means time slows down. And so if you go like on the edge of a black hole and go around in circles for like 10 years and head back to Earth, they say that's like Earth would be 20 years in the future. It cuts time in half. So,
I was talking to my uncle about this the other day. He said he didn't say anything about like wormholes or anything, but he thinks that if you travel around the sun like going really fast, it could, change time or some
Yeah.
shit like that.
Yeah, they say only theoretically that you could only travel in the future, because if you travel at the speed of light, then time has to adjust, so then it
Yeah.
slows down time. But you can't travel into time because there's effect before cause, kind of like in Back to the Future, where they fuck up things in 1955 and Biff fucks up things in 1955, and it fucks up the future,
Yeah.
and it creates alternate dimensions. What they think is that it'll create infinite dimensions, alternate dimensions, and you wouldn't know which one to get back to or how to travel in between those dimensions. So, who knows if it's going to be in the past, or obviously they could do anything they want. It's a movie, so it'll probably be, maybe they try to go into the future, that they only think that going into the future is possible. Then they end up going like way into the distant past, like prehistoric dinosaur times. It would be awesome.
Yeah.
Or
like, didn't you say like alternate dimensions? Like I could imagine them like going through this wormhole or some shit, and then it's like everything is backwards on Earth and shit, and everything looks different, and they're like, where the fuck are we?
Yeah, like an alternate Earth, alternate history.
Yeah. Like I had this theory about, time travel, but it's not really time travel. It's like if you're in a coma and you know what I mean, you sleep for so long, it's sort of like time travel, because, you know what I mean, at that time, like, you fall asleep at a certain time and wake up, and everything's different.
Yeah, but your body would still have aged. But if you,
yeah, sort of. But I heard.
But if you do the thing where you travel at the speed of light and it slows down time, your body would have only aged 10 years, while everyone on Earth would have aged 20 years.
Yeah, but I also heard that stress causes age. So if you're sleeping, what kind of stress could you be through? So maybe you don't age as much as if you're in a coma. You know what I mean? Because you're sleeping. That's what I heard. I heard that because you're awake, stress causes you to age faster. So if you're asleep, you won't look as old. Like if you're sleeping for if you're 30 and you go to sleep for 10 years, you'll still look like 35.
Yeah, they might do the Lost in Space thing where they have to go into a coma, or like in Aliens, how they'll start off where the whole crew would be like in coma because they're traveling through space, and it'll take like 10 months to go like 10 years.
You ever seen the Simpsons episode when Homer gets sucked into a black hole behind the cabinet, and then he turns into like this 3D version of Homer, then gets sucked into the wormhole, then gets sent to
Is that the one that just happened?
No, this was
Treehouse of Horror. This is an old episode.
This was an old Treehouse of Horror. But yeah, that's probably what it's gonna be like. Maybe they get sucked through and then like.
I don't think so. I think they constructed it, like I was saying. They constructed a wormhole, the portal, like in Stargate. Like there was already one constructed in Stargate, and they figured out the coordinates to walk through it. That's what it's going to be. And they have to create it in space, because if they created it close to Earth, then the whole Earth would get sucked into it, and then time would collapse on itself.
It seems really like fucking... I don't know. It just... Like, I'm not... Because Nolan... People like to say that Nolan does realistic things. Nolan does realistic things. Not the last time I checked, because, like, Inception's not...
Yeah, now he's starting to... No, he just did the realism take on Batman, because no one ever did it before, and he just kind of, sold that to Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
So it's going to be dome-shot spacecraft, so you're not even going to be able to see the spacecraft in this movie.
Huh. It's going to be a lot of fucking CGI, I'm guessing, though.
Yeah. I think it's going to be a comeback of space sci-fi movies, with Star Wars coming out in 2015.
It just makes me think, like...
Jupiter Ascending from the Matrix team. Did you hear about that one?
Which one?
That's a new sci-fi one that's about to be filmed. Jupiter Ascending.
From the people that made The Matrix?
Yeah. That's going to be a sci-fi space film.
It just makes me think, though, if no... Because I heard... Well, Mark was saying this a lot. Goku, he was saying that Nolan should have... He was going to be one of the people to do Star Wars. And I'm like, that doesn't even fit Nolan. And now he's coming out with space.
If Nolan did Star Wars, he'd make Luke Skywalker retire from being a Jedi. He would... Let's be serious.
I don't want to be Jedis no more.
I know.
Yeah,
there was zero chance that would ever happen.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like, he was talking about Nolan being in, doing-
Nolan just wants to do like original projects from here on out, since he pretty much dedicated like almost a decade to like one franchise.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It'd be kind of nice to see him do something else, though, even though I love his Batman movies. But, like, I hope that it has new actors. Like, I don't want to see Christian Bale in it.
I know. I don't want the whole Inception cast, like, for this.
Like, maybe they should have, like, all new actors, like, unknowns.
Or work with different actors so it doesn't have the same feel. But, yeah, that's pretty much all my thoughts on it for right now.
It seems interesting. Like I said, I'm not gonna go nuts about it because I'm not a fucking crazy Nolanite. Like, I'm not insane about the guy. Like, I think he's a good director.
So they're gonna get lost in time, and it's gonna cause a paradox of different dimensions, and they're not gonna be able to get back. It's definitely gonna be over 2.5 hours. I could guarantee that.
All his movies are. Did you see Prestige?
Yeah, I want to rewatch that again. I remember it being pretty decent.
Yeah, that was a good movie. Memento of his own movies, like his original content, is probably his best. Because that shit is fucking, like, it hurts your brain watching.
Yeah, that's a good thriller too.
Like
that's what he should stick to: original projects and like thrillers. Like
M. Night Shyamalan. He fucked up his career, man. Like, he was on a roll, like, doing fucking all original ideas, and then as soon as he did the fucking Last Airbender, it's like
everyone is always hated all his weird kind of movies, though.
Sixth Sense was good.
Yeah, then everyone since then has gotten a notch below, but I like Unbreakable. Signs was
That's probably
okay.
his best. Unbreakable.
Village is pretty good. That's the one where it started to go downhill for him. Everyone was like, "What the fuck is that?"
The Village was sick, though. I like the medieval whatever.
Oh yeah, I like the old 16th century New England feel.
It's like this whole town was just fucked up, and they didn't even leave. That was cool.
It was like this small cult sanctuary to protect their children, like that they created to brainwash their children.
He should just do a sequel to Unbreakable. Like, I heard Samuel Jackson, like, fucking slammed M. Night Shyamalan because he doesn't make movies that he wants to see. He was talking about Tarantino or some shit. He was like, Tarantino makes movies he wants to see.
I know, Tarantino always just does what he wants to do. And, like, I want to see him do a sci-fi movie, but he lives more in, like, realism.
He's going to do another history type movie again. 380s. Did you see his new one yet?
What did he say he was talking about doing? I forgot what the idea was about.
I don't know exactly, but he's saying it's going to be like changing history again with like Inglourious Bastards or Django